Hey, I want to talk some more about one of my favorite topics, and it's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And I was thinking of some ways to say it, and I think I've got one. So, the difference between knowledge and wisdom. One way to think of it, well, for me, is to think of it in terms of one of my favorite games that I used to play, and that is Final Fantasy Tactics on the PlayStation 1. So, uh, knowledge and wisdom in the game, not in like the characters or in the story, but in the person playing it, right? The player. So, knowledge would be knowing the classes, the the weapons and the type of armor that each class can use, the abilities, the spells, the um, the strong types versus the weak types, and all of these kind of factual parts of the game in order to play it and beat it. So there's knowledge. Now the wisdom in the game is this: for anyone who's ever played it for the first time, like me when I played it for the first time, there are parts in the game where if you're not prepared, the game could be over, like just completely over. And like, without having some kind of guide or walkthrough, I mean, you could go into it not knowing that and completely like uh, be just helpless and have to start the whole thing over. And what I mean is, in the levels as the story progresses, there are some levels or maps that have like more than one part, like two parts or three parts. And one of the maps has a three part battle where you start at the outside of a castle and then you fight that part, and then in the middle you fight in the entrance of the castle, and then in the third and final fight you are somewhere deeper, like in the underground of the castle. Now here, so now you gotta apply all your knowledge of, okay, um, get these classes, get make sure you have one of like a spellcaster or one of a knight, and make sure they're equipped this way, and then make sure that they have this or that, and so that all of that's knowledge. Here's the wisdom. The first time I played those, I didn't realize that after each battle, you get to save. In case if you lose, you get to reload from that save point. What you don't know is in the second battle and the third battle, before those two, when you save and reload, you reload that battle. And if you happen to not be strong enough in level or have the right class or equipment or consumables, potions and stuff, you can't beat the level. And you can't just like back out because you're in the middle of this larger quest if you save in the second and third part. So if you're like many people and you gotta devote one spot in your memory card to one game at a time, with this game, when you play it, I only had one save file, and I would save over and overwrite it as I would get further in the game. And then when you get to this part with the three stages, if you save over your one save file, but you can't beat that battle because you're not strong enough, the game's over. You can't back out to the world map and go to the shop and buy more potions. You can't go to the world map and you can't level up and do more exploring. Game's over. Doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. And that's one of the differences between knowledge and wisdom. It's good to have both. And one is not better than the other. You need balance. You need to have knowledge and to have memory of important facts or rules or laws, how to be safe, how to treat others, how to treat yourself. And then wisdom is knowing that all of that knowledge in your head, it's not always right to apply all of that to everything. You have to balance and know when this knowledge, this is important, but it mostly applies to this part of my life. And maybe this knowledge is important, really important, but it only applies to this part of my life. And that's wisdom. Because wisdom can, well, let me say this. When you build up knowledge, you eventually get wisdom because of what you know. Now, once you have wisdom, that actually gives you the ability to understand some knowledge. It's actually outdated, or it actually doesn't apply. Or, in some cases, some knowledge might hold you back if you let it. But you have to have both. Not one, not the other. Because if I knew the best classes, the best armor, the best weapons, the best spells and skills, but I didn't know that it's a good idea to keep 2 save files going, then I gotta rely on luck. And on the second, on the other hand, if I just have wisdom but in less knowledge, then I might have a whole memory card of 15 save files. And each one might be, well, this save file is, I have to build, I'm trying the game, but I'm focused on magic. And in this save file, I'm going through the game, but I'm focused mostly on knights and physical attacks. And then maybe in this file of the game, I'm going through it and I've got like 50-50 or something like that. So, you've got the wisdom to have all these save files, but you don't have the knowledge to know you only need 1 spellcaster, 1 melee, maybe 1, archer ranged, and then maybe 1 who always has like the item skill equipped so you can throw potions and things like that. So you gotta have both. And when you start to have both and use both, I think life will be much more fulfilling. Maybe not better. Maybe not worse. It may not change your situation that you're in, but it can make your time experiencing and living your life more fulfilling because just you're thinking deeper. That game had a great soundtrack, and I have it too. And it had really great characters that I liked. So when I first played the game, it was fun. It was a fun turn-based RPG, recruiting characters and equipping them, and changing their classes and having fun. And then as I got older, and I looked back on the story, and I actually followed it more and understood it more because it's so complex. Even as a teenager, when I would read the dialogues and try to follow, there's this person and there's this kingdom and they're trying to do this for this reason. Oh, it was so tough. It was not easy. I just wanted to get to the battle and slug it out. I didn't care to invest into the characters' reasons and other things. I just wanted to beat the game. But now that I can appreciate it on a different level, it's one of my favorites. Yeah. For a number of reasons. I could go into them, but I won't. Maybe in another one of these I'll talk about it. But for now, if you ever play the game, make sure you have 2 save files, maybe 3.